Welcome back to Squawk Box. Morgan Stanley is kicking off its annual Multicultural Conference later this morning. The virtual event will be held across 2 days, and it's going to be featuring discussions about healthcare, hybrid work, and leadership with Colin Powell, Ambassador Ron Kirk, and former Xerox CEO Ursula Burns. Joining us right now is one of the conference's speakers, Carla Harris, Vice Chairman of Global Wealth Management and Head of Multicultural Client Services Group at Morgan Stanley Investment Management. Carla, it's great to see you. It's almost like a reunion. We have this conversation once a year. Hopefully we get to see you more than that. But you've been putting this event together for quite some time. But I think the backdrop is different and has changed, or at least I hope it has changed in the last year. And I'm curious how you think it may be different.
Yes. Well, good morning, Andrew, and thanks for having me again. We are particularly excited this year, and I think things are different. There have been a lot of things that have transpired in the last 15 months with respect to an awakening, if you will. We've all learned how to pivot. We've learned how to be innovative in the moment. And there's a different spirit of collaboration, I would argue, that's in the marketplace at large. And so I think the conversations around the economy, the national security strategy, assessing change through the eyes of diversity, equity, and inclusion, talking about the changing healthcare landscape, all of that, I think, is top of mind for C-suite leaders today. And those are the things that we're going to tackle in the next 2 days.
But, Carla, in terms of investment into minority businesses, entrepreneurs, do you think things have changed? I mean, there have been firms like SoftBank which have announced big programs. Lots of companies have announced lots of things, but I'm curious what you're actually seeing.
Yeah, and I challenged you last year to come back to me this year and let's talk about it. And certainly there have been, number one, more announcements, and there certainly have been some firms that have followed through. And as you know, Andrew, we've continued to keep our foot on the gas. Just yesterday, we announced a groundbreaking fund, a private equity fund called the Next Level Fund, where we are partnering with three major corporations, Hearst Corporation, Walmart, as well as Microsoft, to actually lean in with not only money, but with our respective expertise to really markedly advance the scaling of businesses that have been founded by multicultural and female entrepreneurs. So as I said, we kept our foot on the gas with the Institute for Inclusivity and lots of other things that you've seen.
But what are you seeing more broadly? I mean, we have seen a number of announcements. Have you seen that money actually show up in terms of investments? Because I don't want to say that I'm skeptical, but I remember a lot of the press releases that went out 12 months ago, but I haven't seen a lot of press releases with actual announcements of where that money's gone.
And that's a fair point. That is a very fair point, Andrew. You're starting to see some of that money trickle in now. When I talk to companies that we're looking at with respect to investing in some of those opportunities, they too have received money from some of the large tech companies that you've heard that made announcements last year. So now, here we are 11, 12 months into it. I can say that I'm starting to see some of that money trickle into some of those companies, which I am thrilled about.
In terms of what you're planning on today, what's the one conversation you're looking forward to?
That's not fair, Andrew, because I'm looking forward to all of them. But I'll tell you two in particular. Actually, the three big ones that we're having is the one with General Powell, of course, that will be led by Ambassador Ron Kirk. We're having an amazing conversation with Dina Freeman and Q-Song Lee about really assessing change, looking at what they have been doing with respect to advancing and diversity and inclusion in their own organizations. And then an amazing conversation with Lloyd Dean around the changing healthcare landscape. That's what's on tap for today.
Right. And before I let you go, I see it looks like you're working from home today. I don't know. Maybe that's your office in the city there. What do you make of the big boss? That's your boss's decision to have everybody back with mandatory vaccination.
Well, I think that if you think about financial services broadly, Andrew, it is an industry where we learn from each other. We learn by being together. It's a team-oriented environment. So I think you'll see over the course of this summer, people will start to come in, and then the fall will probably be pretty close back to the same speed.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.